Good morning. Good morning to you. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. Big hello to all of my viewers on YouTube and to everyone who's watching, of course. So good morning. Sending out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm doing today, or what I'm doing now, is I am going to be pulling some cards for the week ahead. That's the week starting Monday the 5th of July through to Sunday the 11th of July. So what I'll be doing is using my combined Speed of Light Oracle cards with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, and I'll be using this combined deck to look for the best cards for this week ahead. I trust that you've been let here for a reason. So I trust that something shared will support you at this time, and what I encourage you to do is to be open to receiving what you need. Take on board what feels right, what resonates with you, what fits into what you've been feeling or what you've been experiencing, and what doesn't fit in or what doesn't resonate, you can let that go. So yeah, think of this as a guide only, and we'll see what comes up. So welcome. So last week our theme was prayer, or answered prayer. So did you have an answered prayer last week? Did you find something you've been working hard towards, something you've been waiting on, started happening last week? That seemed to have been a bit of a theme, even though it was our theme card for the week, but I'm reflecting back and I know a few instances just close to me where that seemed to have happened. So that energy was our theme. So what I'm doing now is shuffling this deck of cards, and I'm holding the intention I want to find the best cards for this coming week ahead, the best cards for the majority of us. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is already Monday the 5th of July, and it is 9:05 a.m. So, the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead, starting Monday the 5th through to Sunday the 11th of July 2021, are these. Okay, so let's lay the cards out here. Just excuse me for a moment. We'll put these face down. It feels like miles away down here on the floor, but of course it isn't. But I can really stretch out. Okay, so I have my cards down here. We are going to now turn the cards over and see what they are. So just bear with me a second. Oh, interesting. We've got one featured card, which is Wham! The Cobra Bite. It says here, further instructions say to take the top card from the deck. So I'm going to just take this card straight from the top. Oh, it's the moth. The Emperor moth. Interesting. And I'll talk more about the cobra and the moth in a moment. I've got something else to talk about first. So we're ready to go. So in general, it looks like, yeah, quite a good week ahead, most likely. Let's start the week with this guy. It's our Masked Owl. It's card 49, and it says to be optimistic. So we've been encouraged to start the week optimistic and hopeful. Hopeful and optimistic for a good week ahead, perhaps. That's my hope, I suppose. My optimism is that it's going to be a good flowing week ahead. As maybe you're feeling as you sit here too, and this is our focus right now. But there may be something that you're dealing with in your life, something that's going on for you. that you're feeling maybe a little more hopeful and optimistic about than you have been. Maybe the last few weeks, the last few days, perhaps you'd been feeling a bit uncertain whether it was going to work out, unsure about, what was going to take place. But there is this feeling that we're most likely starting the week feeling optimistic, which is great. So there is an optimistic feeling about the week, which is good, especially as this will take us in to the Cobra Bite. So that's especially for Monday, but I feel like early in the week. So as we start the week, let's start feeling as optimistic as we can, that things are going to work out. So these are our cards for Tuesday, and I'm going to say Wednesday. So we've got Tuesday the 6th, Wednesday the 7th of July, and we have these two cards together, which is interesting. They've come up together for a reason. So I'm going to look at them separately first, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So we've got the Cobra Bite. Yes, it is a bamboo behind me. Our beloved bamboo. Pride of our living and workspace. So Tuesday, Wednesday, the Cobra Bite, card 9. It says sting, shock, truth, and illusion. So this brings a potency. It came up, I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before, but it may have been last week. It's come up recently in one of the videos that I did for the weekly guidance. It has a sharp energy, a potency, and a surprising sort of element, although if it's coming up and we're aware of it, it may not be as surprising as if we didn't know about it. But there is something somewhat urgent in the feeling with this Cobra Bite, and it comes up with this card, which gives us more information about the Cobra Bite's card and energy, and it's card 14, called the Emperor Moth. And it says to put things into order. So this card is about paperwork. It's about those tasks that we have to do, usually paperwork, that we don't really want to do, but it's necessary or a necessity. Something that we have to do, that we're obligated to do our taxes, for example, or what have you. So there is this feeling here, especially around Tuesday and Wednesday, that some of us may feel the urge or have to make time to tie up our loose ends, to put things into order, to get more organised, and maybe deal with that stack of paperwork over there that we've been putting off. So the energy for this, to focus on this, is likely quite supportive. Now, it's probably going to come in quite an urgent way. Urgent, and I don't mean panicky. I mean, we might feel this really strong urge, sometimes an urgency to get things sorted out. So for whatever reason, sometimes it's because we have a deadline or a date and we've just got to have it done by then. Sometimes that can be the urgency. So whatever the urgency is, or this sense of pull or push, or maybe even a forcing in some ways to get this done, feels to be important. And I feel like we're going to be grateful that we've made the time, if this is something we need to do, after we've done it. That finally we've got that out of the way, and it feels like a sense of relief and a sense of release. It could be a pleasant surprise that we have as we put things into order. Maybe we find little things that we forgot about. Maybe things come up that have been tucked away. So that can be a very pleasant surprise. Or there may be a not so pleasant surprise if we get things into order and we see, things may be not going in a direction I like, or maybe a bit more dire. Especially I'm thinking about things like paperwork or things to do with finances. So whatever's revealed as we put things into order is going to be really important information. And we may have a sense that we might not like what we're going to uncover, but we know that it's necessary for us to spend the time doing the paperwork or tying up these loose ends. And it's going to be better for us to know if there's a situation or a downward spiral that we're falling into that we've been trying to ignore or deny. So it might be good, is the feeling that we have the facts, that we have the information that we have it out in front of us in stacks of paper or what have you, so we can see the truth, and then we can start turning things around if it's not going in a direction that we're happy with. So this feels strong for Tuesday and into Wednesday, and maybe this feeling of motivation or just making the time to get these things into order or get these things done that need to be done. There is a feeling that we shouldn't really put it off. So maybe think about what you've been putting off, and maybe around Tuesday and Wednesday you can make time to get started on it, or look further into it, or go and see an expert to get more information. So that's around for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now Thursday, so Thursday the 8th of July, we have the Wolf again. The Wolf came up last week, I'm quite sure, and it's come up a lot lately. And it's card 48. It says to secure those boundaries. So especially around Thursday, and after we tie up these loose ends, after we get things into order, and after we see what we need to see through that time that we've spent doing that stuff, we might notice that, especially around Thursday, that we've been giving our power away to different things. And it may be things like the stack of paper that we need to sort out, or the unfinished business that we need to tend to, or the things that are hovering around that we've been putting off. Because we give our power away to these things just by having them in the back of our head, and something I must do that soon, or I should really make time for that. Every time we're thinking that, it's taking our energy and our power away from other things that we could be doing. So as we tie up these loose ends and clear this unfinished business, there is a feeling here that through the Wolf's energy that we'll be bringing our power back. So there is a feeling of reining things in, bringing things in a bit closer to our body and closer to home, if you like. And there is probably a need to look at our boundaries and how we spend our time, and make sure that we are not draining ourselves too much if we don't have the energy or the time for certain things or certain activities right now. We may need to close some doors temporarily just to get our energy back or reconnect. And in fact, that's what I'll be doing, because tomorrow we'll be going camping for a couple of days. So I'll be taking a break to reconnect, because I don't have weekends break. I don't have days off. My time of reconnection and taking a break from what I do 24/7, quite literally, is every 6 to 8 weeks is take a few days away. So that's where we go camping. So I know that I'm going to be in that space, and I can connect with this sense of reconnection. So making sure, or it's just like bringing our energy back, calling our energy home, instead of all the things that we're thinking about, all the things that we've got to do, all the things going on, all pulls our attention and pulls our energy out. And really, I guess we can get a bit worn thin with all this stuff that we've got that's going on. So reining it in, bringing it back, reconnecting with our body, and really looking at our boundaries, even if it's just a temporary detachment, may be really important. So that's especially around Thursday and after we've tied up the loose ends. So then we're moving forward into Friday. Oh, Friday, okay. So Friday we have two cards here. Friday the 9th of July, we've got these two, which are nice light cards. We've got the Unicorn and the Honeybee. So let's talk about the Honeybee first. And hello everybody, it's lovely to see you. The Honeybee is card 32, and it says a short break. So I've just been talking about that, and this is obviously flowing forward and flowing through most likely to Friday. So we could say later in the week it may be time or important for some of us to take a bit of a break or detach from the things that have been pulling our attention or that we've been focusing on. There is also a feeling with the Honeybee of efficiency. So being efficient or more efficient with how we spend our time and the tasks that we're doing. So let's look for the most efficient way to deal with something that we're dealing with. Let's see if we can do things around the same time, if that works, to help us be more efficient with the way we spend our time. Also on Friday, and this feels exciting, in fact, I'm going to be taking my cards camping and I'm going to have a little play with this energy, because this talks about our spirituality. It's card 50, the unicorn, and it says psychic gifts, spiritual intuition and trust. So it has a few meanings, this card. One of them is about reconnecting with our spirituality and the things that are important to us spiritually. Doesn't matter what they are. I really feel these are personal things. So the things that are important to me spiritually may be a bit different to the things that are important to you spiritually. Perhaps for you, your place of spiritual connection is in meditation, out in nature, maybe at church, maybe in your community groups. Maybe there's something else that you like to do, rituals. Maybe you have an altar that you could clean up or light some incense. Maybe you have cards that you want to connect with. Maybe you haven't written in your journal for a while. So there is this feeling here of reconnecting with the things that are important to us personally, that are spiritual in nature. There is also an element of this card that reminds us to trust in our intuition. See, the alicorn here of the unicorn is very protruding. So it's bringing highlight to our third eye chakra. And a big, huge element of our third eye chakra is about trust. It's about trusting, especially in our intuition, but also in the decisions we make, where we are in our life, who we are. Can you trust in the path that you're taking right now? So there is a sense of stability and reassurance in our ability to trust in ourselves. So around Friday, maybe you'll be called to trust in your intuition. Trust in where it's pointing. This alicorn is pointing. So it may be pointing somewhere. You can trust in those feelings and those intuitions, those sensitivities that you have. So Friday, the honeybee, efficiency, taking a break, and the unicorn, our spirituality and trusting in our intuition. So then we move to Saturday. Saturday, the 10th of July. We have a great card here for Saturday. It's the abundance card. Card 30, actually. Card 30, and it's called Elementals. It says blessings, abundance, prayers, and opening. So this is showing that there is an overflow of abundance that's coming in for Saturday or around Saturday. In fact, it feels like a 24-hour period of potential here. So it could be late Friday to late Saturday. It could be Saturday morning to Sunday morning. It feels to be around a 24-hour period of abundance or potential abundance to tap into. Now, if we're closed off to abundance, if we're closed off to good things, we're not going to notice it. It's going to be like any other dreary day, probably. But if we can think about, especially leading up to around that Saturday period, if we can think about in the lead up how open or closed we might be to receiving or enjoying abundance in our life, it's going to make a massive difference. So we could be in our home, in our own little world. There could be a man, let's say, that's just representing abundance, and he could be walking down the street with a big sack of coins and what abundance represents. It's not just coins. I'll talk more about what it represents in a minute. But let's say there's a man representing abundance. He's carrying a big sack of abundance, of coins that represents abundance down the street, and he's playing his bell or his drum or he's singing a song, and he's just walking past, ready to offer the abundance to us. That's just going straight by our door like a stream that runs past. But if we're caught in our little world, in our home, stressed out, angry, I feel like I want to say speaking a lot, but not actually listening, then we might not even notice this potential good thing that's walking straight past our door. So if we're in a space of awareness and alertness and we're listening, for some reason listening and speaking feels to be important, then we may hear and even be pulled with our intuition if we're trusting it and it's nice and open and it's pointing in a certain direction. We may just have a pull to go to our door, look out the window and see what's been offered just out there. So it takes a sense of responsibility in a way, or a sense of owning what is possible or what is potential for us. So abundance can come in many forms. It can come in the form of gifts, opportunities, good health. It may come in the form of finances or an increase, a pay rise or a promotion, that sort of thing. It can also be savings discounts that we receive. I feel abundant when I'm in good flow. I might not have a lot of money in the bank, but I might have enough that I can get by where I feel stable. But to me, abundance is about feeling good, feeling in the flow of and with my life. So abundance is present, especially over the weekend. Let's make sure we're open and aware and really listening to its offering, if you like, or to its presence. And it's unlikely that if we sit back in our comfortable place and our world around us is loud and distracting, it's unlikely this man and what he represents is going to come knocking at the door, walk in and drop this sack of abundance in our lap. We have to be proactive. I wouldn't say necessarily in seeking it, but in noticing it and receiving it and being grateful for the things that are working and are flowing in our life. Let's be grateful for the good health that hopefully we have, and sending love to anyone who's not in good health right now. I'm sure that back in your days of feeling good health, if you're not feeling it now, I'm sure maybe it was something that you took for granted. So it's really important that when we are feeling good health, that we are grateful for it. Because, as any of us know who have experienced ill health, it's not a good feeling. So when we're in good health, let's appreciate it. When we've got opportunities around us, let's appreciate it. When we have the food that we need, the roof over our head, when we have the things that we need, let's be grateful for it. Let's notice the abundance that is already present. And then we'll notice more as it wants to come in. And then Sunday, actually speaking of health, interesting, Sunday the 11th of July, we have card, I was going to say 14, I don't know why, card 34, called Healed. And it says golden light wounds, blocks and dissolve. So this is the physical body healing card. And some of us may find at this time, but especially on Sunday, maybe our body needs some time of healing, rest, maybe recouping if needed. Maybe you're dealing with things in your body that you're needing to look after or care for your body, and maybe that's going to be accentuated for some of us on Sunday. So our body requiring healing. You can use your hands if you're open to it to ask healing energy to fill your hands. Fill up my hands with healing light is what I like to say. My hands are already now starting to soar with energy. So when you're resting or if your body's unwell, you can ask your hands to fill up with healing light. You don't have to pay a lot of money to go to a healing course to activate these hands of yours. You can ask, just ask. Ask your hands to fill up with healing light and place them on your body where you need it. If you're open to it, and you'll probably feel a warmth and maybe an energy, depending how sensitive you are, moving into your body. So don't forget that you can help yourself. Are you helping and supporting your body by putting into your body what's healthy and good for it? Are you getting enough vitamins and minerals? Are you getting enough water? Are you getting enough rest, enough sunlight? So maybe also being aware of our body's needs. may be really important by the end of the weekend. So that's healed, allowing our body the time and the space and the tools that it needs for healing. So they are the cards for this week for the majority of us. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I'm going to pull a theme card before I go. But before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video and this connection, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So a couple of things that's going on. First of all, pre-orders have just opened in the last few days for my Speed of Light Oracle cards, which have been sold out since the end of last year. So these have opened for pre-orders. We're just waiting on word. Thank you for sharing, Glenda. We're waiting for word from the printer that they've finished printing and assembly so that they can be shipped. So we should hear from them really within the next week, I would think. So the cards will be here in the next month or two, maybe 3, depending on the global situation and the shipping and the customs and lockdown and all that sort of stuff. There may be a little delay or it may be a bit slow, hopefully not, but just in case. So you can pre-order these on my website. We'll be having an online launch as usual. Thank you so much to all of you who have already pre-ordered and those of you who have enjoyed the old deck that has now sold out. Also, my next art class is coming up Saturday week, which is the 17th of July, and we're going to be recreating artwork around self-confrontation, which is very much about confronting things, confronting especially self, but also coming out of hiding and having the courage to really confront our issues, confront our fear, and move out of places that limit us. So we'll be exploring that in my next art class if you want to join in. Also, the chakra series that so I've got a new 2021 chakra series. I do them every 2 years roughly. Is coming up next Friday, the 16th of July. And it was going to be just for subscribers on or for people on my YouTube channel. However, I've decided for now that the chakra series is going to be streamed for my Pillar of Light family and patrons. So it will be available to the public in around 6 months' time. So it's just so that there's a fair exchange. Because there's a massive limitation on Facebook, like our sales are quite going that way. So as part of the exchange for me personally, I work so hard doing my work, 3 a.m. for hours and hours and hours, sometimes pretty much every day unless I take a break. So what I'm feeling is the balance between the effort and the hard work that I put in and what we're receiving is not in balance at the moment. So part of my change with the chakra series is to help that be an exchange, a balance for me, because I do offer so much freely. It's really important because I rely on your support to keep my work going and keep me to be able to do this, that I recognize when it's imbalanced. And mostly it's imbalanced because of Facebook limitations, that our things that we're sharing just are not being seen on Facebook, and that's where most of our sales or our customers and things come from. So if you would love to support my work, if you would love to follow the chakra series, which I'm sure you would love, it's the 7 chakras, we're going to be spending about an hour on each one. So really focused. If you would love to be a part of that, I invite you, please become a Pillar of Light member, which is $15 for the month, or a patron for $10 a month to be a part of that. So if you can't, that's okay. There are old chakra series you can follow, and this new one will be shared publicly, like I say, in about 6 months' time. But if you want to learn more about what I do and what I've got going on, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. So thank you for your patience with all that stuff going on. The best card for the theme is what I'm looking for. The theme card will help us see the bigger picture for this whole week ahead. So the bigger picture, what do we need to keep in mind for this week? Aside from the cobra bite, which is quite intense, and maybe our physical body needing some healing later in the week, it seems to be a fairly cruisy week potentially, which will be nice. So the theme card will highlight that or reveal something else. So the best card for the theme for the majority of us for this week, it is a Speed of Light Oracle card. Okay, it's the stag. It's the sad stag. Okay, let's explore this. There's a lot of potential, even though he looks very sad. Let's talk about it. It's card 49. It's the stag. And it says lost, help, guide, path, and discouraged. So this actually adds a potential sadness to this week. And I don't want to share that with you going, oh no, or anything like this, because there is great potential in the message that this stag brings. So it shows us that we're potentially, some of us might feel like we're off track. You may already feel this as you're connecting in with this early in the week or late the week before. You might have felt lately that you've been feeling off track, or you've gone off course, or you're going backwards, or there's something that just doesn't feel right maybe, or that you don't feel aligned with about your life's path. This is very much about our path, our journey, where we're going or where we've been. So that feeling of discouragement or feeling lost or alone or like we've taken a wrong step is illusion. It's going to feel real because illusion does that. But in truth, we can never be off our path, because our path is always under our feet, because it's our path. It can't be anywhere else but right under these feet of ours. So it's our mind usually that makes us think that our path is way over there and we've done something wrong, we've missed something, or whatever our mind is concocting. In reality, we know our path is always under our feet. So let's make sure that we're aware of our position, I guess we could say, our position right now in regards to our life's path and where we are. Do you feel like you're in alignment, that you're standing full center in your life's path right now? Or do you feel like your path's over there or back there or somewhere else? So once you're aware of how you really feel, or how aligned or out of alignment you really are right now with your life's path, don't pretend. You don't have to pretend and say, yeah, I'm on track, yeah, things are okay, but there's a twang of dishonesty in some ways about that reaction. If you feel like you're off your path right now and that feels like it triggers or stirs something in you, then please be honest about it. And then you'll be able to take steps to get yourself back into alignment with your body and your path, which is present here in the present moment. So let's use the potential this week to help ourselves get back on track, to stay the course, if you like, and not allow ourselves to be distracted by other things. The news, the media, the mass media has a great way of distracting us with drama and fear and all these things that might be going on that we get stressed about. It's a great distraction. It takes us straight out of our body and straight out of our life's path and being aligned with it. If the news or other things that you've been distracting yourself by, if they don't support your growth, then maybe it might be worth looking at detaching. And I did talk about that, especially with the wolf for this week. Maybe just detaching from some things that either we need a temporary break from, or that are just pulling our energy down. Sometimes these are people. Sometimes we need a break from a certain person that may just be really difficult to be around, for example. So what's distracting you? What are you attached to that doesn't have anything to do with you or your life's path or where you're going? Can you make some detachments this week and get back into alignment with your body and your life's path. For me, taking a break, I know I'm already going to be doing this. Not that I feel like I'm on my path. I feel really good. It's just 8 weeks. I just need a couple of days break and a couple of days reconnection and in nature. So I know that for me, my time away, my time of break is a great time for me to keep perspective and detach from the myriad of things that I've always got that I'm thinking about doing and the ideas that I have all the time. And I want to get back and just soak up nature. I want to look at the trees. I want to hear the waterfall and the rivers. So for me, and you know, maybe you find for you as well, if you've got time, maybe stepping away, even just for a short amount of time, maybe go to your favorite place in nature if possible, or what have you, whatever you need to do to get into that space of reconnection, to reconnect with yourself, your body, your path, and what is present in your life, and not what you're being distracted by. So the theme is potentially a bit of a hovering cloud of sadness, feeling discouraged, feeling lost, feeling off track, feeling off course. But let's take the steps this week to get ourselves back on track. It is possible. It's not impossible. It may not be easy, but it's certainly not impossible. So consider connecting with your body. That's come up to a couple of times here. So your body, breathing, exercise, meditation, cleaning, this sort of thing. So I feel like I've been talking for so long, so I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for your patience and for being here and for spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate that, and I don't take your trust in me lightly. I feel very honoured that you're here and that you're listening. Hopefully something shared supportive and helpful for you. If you would love to learn more about me and support my work, please visit templeofbalance.com.au and have a fantastic week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating, and I will be back next Monday for the next weekly guidance. Come back and connect with the recording if you need a recap or to reconnect with this guidance throughout the week. You'll find it on my website, Facebook page, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.